Hello and welcome to the 5th instalment of Off Track 2021. Tonight, I'm going to be chatting to a driver who always seems to have a smile on his face, number 249, Joff Gibson. So the plan for tonight is to have an in-depth chat with Joff and also bring you some exclusive pictures of his refurbished shell car for 2021. Joff, thank you so much for taking part this evening.
No problem, no problem. Glad to be
here. The first thing we need to deal with, is it Joff or Jonathan? Because I don't know.
It was Jonathan up until I was about 15, and then family and friends, and just become Joff. I don't know. It was my brother-in-law who started off when I was about 15. He used to call me Joffinen instead of Jonathan. He used to say Joffinen, and then it just went to Joff. So I think that's been since I was 16 or something, 15. Yeah, as soon as I finished minis. But in the minis, when I raced minis, it was always Gibbo.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know, just the difference in names.
Do you have a preference?
Just Joff, yeah, Joff.
Yeah.
I call to Joff. Yeah, I'm used to that. other than my mother, who calls me Jonathan.
Yeah. See, when I was a teenager growing up, and my friends would phone the house, which we had to do that many years ago, and they'd call me Johnny, Jono, and I could always hear my mum correcting them on the phone, going, "What, you mean Jonathan?" So like, I've always stuck with Jonathan. Do you know what I mean? For that reason.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah.
So when we spoke prior to doing the interview, you were quite surprised that I'd asked you to do it, and that you were kind of thinking, well, people won't be interested in what I've got to say, but they absolutely will.
Yeah, it's a surreal thing for me. Because obviously I've gone watching it all my life, and then you become a driver, and I've raced minis, and then you have periods where you go away, but it's like Monday to Friday, it's just a normal living life, isn't it? Like everybody else, and then certain people out of the country go off on a weekend and start racing, and it's the more so people coming up with the magazines and autographs and things like that, and you know, I don't know, I like it and it's good, but it's a difference in it. You feel special in a way. You feel special in it. It's nice. It's a nice feeling. So
good.
Yeah, it just all round good. Yeah.
I'm glad you feel special this evening. I like that. That's nice.
Thank you.
And I have to say, when I was trying to get in touch with you over the sort of previous weeks, you're quite difficult to get in touch with, and you must be the busiest man in stock car racing.
Oh God, it's just I am pretty busy with what I do. I just do construction and stuff like that here, there, and everywhere, and just family as well, innit? I'm family oriented, mate, so I just like to be here, there, and everywhere. And just when you get at night and you've got your family around you, sometimes you just shut off, don't you? So
yeah.
But
we're here now, which is all good. So let's talk a bit about stock car racing. So you started in Formula One in 1996, racing under 394. So what brought you into Formula One?
Well, from the start, with my dad who brought me into Formula One, but obviously I raced the two dinner for a bit, and then I raced the minis, and obviously going as a kid to Long Eaton and the old tracks and crew and things like that, I followed on from my dad. Like my dad raced the hot stocks for a good few years, become superstar and stuff, and raced alongside Len Wolfenden and people like that, Paul Lomax, and then raced the ones for a bit. But obviously he got to blue in the ones, but he tried his hardest, and he never did so much tarmac, but he were all right shell driver. He was my hero anyway.
Yeah, good. And so going back to the minis then, were you successful in the minis? And were there any drivers that you sort of raced against that you're now racing against in Formula One?
No, I didn't rate. No, there is. Let me think. I think Daniel Squires was the only person in Formula Ones that I raced against it with Billy Tom O'Connor. He raced once for a little bit, didn't he? Had a go. And yeah, there were only certain drivers. Yeah, I'm like in between Robert and the younger generation that are coming through and stuff. And Tom, you know, I'm in the middle of them all. So no, they weren't. There isn't. Tony Blackburn, he races twos. I raced with. He was my probably rival in minis when we raced. We were always putting each other into posts and stuff. And yeah, having eventful moments.
So how many seasons did you race when you sort of first came into Formula One? Because you did a bit and then you seemed to disappear, returning in 2008. So why was that?
Yeah, it was. Do you mean from finishing the minis or?
No, when you came into Formula One, so you came in as 394, raced a bit, and then.
You mean? No, I didn't mean what you meant when you asked that question. I know what you mean. Do you mean when I raced the car at Bradford?
Yeah.
I raced it was Jason Cronshaw's car, that 394 car.
Okay.
It was a converted hot stock to a Formula One, and Dougie Cronshaw and Jason did it, and I think it was about a few weeks or a couple of, and maybe a season or two before Bradford shut. And I was 16. I'd just come out the minis and was looking on doing the Formula 2s. And Jason Conshaw, my dad had a flatbed recovery wagon at the time, and he was taking Jason on the back of his wagon.
Okay.
And he took him to a couple of meetings, and Jason couldn't get this car to go around the track.
Right. Okay.
So my old man says, "Listen, let me lad have a go at Bradford. I'll pay for whatever, and just let him have a go and see how we go. And I'll dog him and trying to get him to get the car to go around the track." So anyway, the first heat, second heat, you get in a car and you're just trying to find the car, aren't you? And
yeah,
probably all over the show, bouncing from pillar to post. But I managed to get the grips with it in the last race in the Grand National, and I led it right to the last bend, and I recall Peter Fording nudging me out of the way and just taking the win. And I finished second to him, and when I come off, my dad actually said to Jason, he went, "I told you I'd get my lad to make that car go round." and the week after, Jason actually went to Stoke, my dad, and went out in the car because he must have thought, "I'm not having this young kid, and he went out and won the first heat in the car.
Brilliant.
Following week, yeah. So, yeah. But that was, So I did that, and then obviously I met my wife when I was 17. So I just had family, kids. We had young kids when we were young, and obviously family and financial, and just changing jobs and different businesses and stuff. And I just wanted to get myself sorted. And then obviously in time, I don't know how long it was, the period, a few years, but I'd had to go in the Outlaws, back in the day. I had a little spell in the Outlaws. I did half season in them. And then what else did I do? I had to go in the Bangers and stuff around Bellevue, and I had to play here and there, just having little goals. Yeah. Like I say, I had to go in them Rebels with Sophie and stuff. And then I think we ended up, we didn't do anything for a few years then. And then two friends in Bury bought two cars off. Do you know Jeff Coleman?
Yeah.
The race. He had a shell car and a timer car. His last two cars he ever had. And two people that we knew from Bury bought their cars who we did dealings with. And they both did one meeting each. One did one at Bellevue, I think, and one did one at Northampton. And they did one race each, and they parked the cars up because it wasn't for them.
Oh, really?
No, they couldn't handle it. So that's what they told us. One of them were a banger driver as well, and he went back to racing bangers. And the other one just didn't bother racing again. So they sat in they both sat in two garages for about 12 months, 18 months.
Okay.
And we kept seeing them, and it was just itching us. So my dad just said, "Do you fancy you going?" I went, "Go on then, we'll have a do." And that's where it come back into it then. We did the twos for a bit. Went with Dad's Kitson and stuff and all that, and had a couple of seasons in the twos, got to red. And obviously, when you're running two cars on tarmac, to have one car on shale, there's not a massive difference, Yeah. So we decided to just get a shale car and have a go on shale, and that's where the Formula One's come into it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That was 2008 then, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Ray Witt's car we bought.
Yeah. And I guess that was potentially your best season to date. You made red grade, you won your first race, you won your first final. Why were you successful in that first year, do you think?
Probably the team and the people I had around me, I think, who were helping and that at that time. Stuart Mills were a great hand and helped me out on shale and did a lot for me. And just all the sponsors that were sponsoring at the time, they help and that. And you're just trying to get stuck in and do bits and that, and just obviously learning of that heart to win, in it. It's just whether you get on shale. I think on shale, if your car's not 100% and you can drive, you can get a bit further up the grid.
Yeah.
And you can probably win a race or two. With tarmac, it's a lot harder, isn't it?
So people say
car's got to be bob on, hasn't it? So, and it's a struggle with tarmac. You just struggle with money and stuff with that job. I do anyway, and I kind of budget. Hard work.
We'll come back to that in a minute. We'll come back to the tarmac piece in a minute. So I guess 2008 was a great season. Like I say, you made red, first final win. And then 2015, the British at Northampton, you had a fantastic meeting. You won 3 of the heats, started on the front row for the championship race. Yeah. It seemed to go a bit wrong from memory.
Oh, no. Yeah, a bit wrong. Well, do you know, to be truthful, I think the pace car should have put his foot down a little bit further or been a lot further away from us, because when that green went, we was close. And as he was turning off, I wanted to get going and I couldn't. So I had to try and squeeze through a gap, but it wasn't there really, was it? And I ended up nudging Daniel Johnson over, and we got a bit of a tangle on, and it just caused a bit of a problem. But I think I was eager, a bit too eager at the time.
Okay. So not necessarily your fault completely then.
No, a bit of both. I think a bit of both. I'd say 70% my fault for going too much, but it could have been paced out a bit further, you know.
Yeah. And what did Dan Johnson think?
He weren't too happy, I don't think. But you know, we're mates, and that's stock car racing. Things happen, you know.
Yeah.
He's had worse.
Yes. Just around that, British, did you think you were absolutely with a chance of winning? You know, did you think you were in a chance of winning that event?
Who knows? You know, who knows? I don't know, but there were a lot better cars out there than me on the day there was, and I think if I was at Red, I probably wouldn't have won all in 3 races. But you know, you go for it, don't you? And I won them, and that was that. It were in the bag, and I appreciated it. You know, it's good memories and good moments when when you win. A win's a win at the end of the day, but you know, it's probably more for a driver who's drove as long as me, and other drivers will agree. It's more achievable when you're at Red to win races. You know, that's the goal of stock cars, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
You know, the further you go back, and the more you can win, the better you are. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That is stock car racing, isn't it? Like you say. Yeah. So you last raced in 2018. You last raced in 2018, and the plan is obviously to come back in 2021. So what was the reasoning for, I guess, your second pause in racing Formula One?
Well, do you know, we went to tarmac at Anshale. We went to have a go. I think 2017 was it? We went to have a go with 4 cars, and you know, we got a skip business going and stuff like that. And we just, it's just hard work when you're trying to do 2 cars, and it's just got stressful, and you know, they were arguing, and me and my dad weren't getting on, and then you're trying to concentrate on business, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work for us to do it because. I don't know. I think I wasn't experienced enough in the garage to do my own car and get that far, you know. And it was costing a lot of money to try and get people. You know, it just hard work with 2. It was, and we were traveling everywhere and things like that. And I feel like I just needed a break. And obviously, I'd raced from being a kid and up, and raced on and off, and plus things at home and stuff. And you just needed to shut off and have a break, don't you? You know. Yeah. Well, some people do, some people might not, but I just needed that break. And then obviously I had that break in 2018, was it? Did you say?
Yeah.
And then obviously this has happened with all the pandemic. That's another 12 months that went by. So we weren't playing 2 years out, you see, but obviously this has happened, so we have. So a bit gutted really, but you know, so it's a blessing in a way because you've had time to save some money up and do things and put stuff away and get things in order.
So was the plan just to have a year out then? Just to go, I'm pausing for a year, I'm going to come back in 2020. Was that the plan?
Yeah, I think we would have had it on Shell in 2020, but it's like I said, but this time, to be truthful, when we got the Shell car now and we put it in the garage, I haven't got any help. I've asked Dan Coleman, my daughter's boyfriend, to help me, and it's just been me and him, and my brother's been down a few with us and helped out and that. So it's just been us 2 nights a week, all before Christmas, all after Christmas, just getting it right. Powder coated from bare metal, powder coated, worked it up, got it on its wheels, and now it's over at Leeds, and it's just had the engine dropped in. And you know, Lee Forrest and his dad has been absolutely amazing with us, honestly. And the car looks mint now.
And we'll see it soon. Yeah,
you will. I will definitely send some more pictures.
Yeah. But we don't need any more because the ones we've got are brilliant. Right. So, and in terms of, you mentioned him already. So you have quite a famous name in your camp. I'm not talking about Stuart Milnes. No. I'm talking about Len. I'm talking about Len Wolfenden. So what's the history there then?
I just him and my dad, because we live in Bury and he lives about 20 miles up motorway, that's all. And they've raced together when they were younger, and they've always really been in contact, and he used to come down to the garage here and there, and he has a brew through summer, and it just I don't know, he's a bit of an hand. He's got knowledge. He can go on a little bit, Len, but you know, he's capable, but he's got a bit of knowledge. It's things that he found out when we were racing and everyone were trying to find somewhere, and he mentioned something, and we went and did it, and it actually worked. So you know, He's still, and I like Leonard. He's all right. He's a good man. So does he give you lots of advice in terms of how you should? Yeah, he does. He can give it the wrong way and annoy you, but you know, he has got a good advice. Yeah.
So obviously stock cars are very different now to when he raced. So what's his view of them now in their current form?
He likes the way he's more into shale. He's not interested in the tarmac because he's just more into shale. But he just has his opinions about stuff, and he says it's changed a hell of a lot. He said, but it's still 4 wheels and an engine.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is, isn't it? But there has a lot of modifications happening. The style of them, the look of them, you know, they are a lot better and things like that. And they didn't have the same as what we did, but they still try and did the same thing, and they still went around the circle, didn't they? So, you know, it's not far away, is it? You know.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Good. Well, I'm glad it's a good help. I like that. Good. So as I mentioned at the beginning, you always seem, very happy at the racetrack. Is that how you approach your racing, or is there like a more serious side that we don't see when the helmet's on?
I think that's the same for every driver, isn't it? I think, well, I'm always happy. I'm happy when I'm in the car, but I'm just, I think you switch as a driver to, I think like there's, I don't know, I wouldn't say there's half and half, but there's drivers out there who go around and I don't think they're as keen on winning. They're just keen on being out there and probably building confidence up for themselves or whatever they're doing, or, but then for me, I don't want to get in that car unless I'm thinking that I want to win the race.
Right, okay.
I want to win the race. I want to win every race I go in, but it doesn't work like that, obviously. But as long as in my personality, my self being is that I want to win every race that I go in, put my foot to the metal, and if there's anyone in way, or let's have some fun and get through the traffic.
So do you know when you say you want to go out and win every single time? Do you still enjoy it when you don't win? When you have a good stock car race?
Yeah, I love it when I have a good stock car race. It's brilliant. Yeah, the best thing is being in the chain with the top drivers, and you're all on pace, and you're all just, you're not booing each other, but you're like tapping each other, and you're going in, and you do. It's nice that I like that when you're when there's 5 or 6 of you on that train. It's good. And if you're fifth, you still feel like you've won. Because you've all gone over the line together and stuff like that. But I enjoy everything. I enjoy people moving me out of the way because you've got to give to receive. You know what I mean? It's a bit of, isn't it? So there's a front bumper and a back bumper, and they're both there to be used. So yeah. I enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy it both ways. So not a problem. Yeah.
So
I've missed it, to tell you the truth.
So you've kind of mentioned this already, but I kind of want to talk about it a little bit more. So before your pause in 2018, you'd made the decision to race on both surfaces, shale and tarmac. Yeah. Was that a conscious decision to really sort of push on in the sport and see if you could get in that superstar grade or be fighting for championships? Was that the reason behind that?
It was, yeah. It was the reason behind it, to get in all the qualifiers and do as much as we can and get into the world final and just, try and have a good go at it. But obviously it didn't work that way. Engines blowing, gearboxes go. It's all unpredictable stock cars, isn't it? The race is unpredictable. You can never know who's going to win, or you don't know what's going to happen. Anything can blow at any time, and it's just a hobby that you love, innit? You're bred around, so, and you have ups and downs. You have highs and lows, Sometimes you're up and you can do, and sometimes you spend up and you've got to have a few seasons out to just try and get some money built back up. But yeah, I enjoy it when we do come back though each time. Yeah, it's good.
So, what cars were you racing? The cars you raced in 2018. What was the history of those?
2018. The first cars I had, the first Formula Ones I had. You mean?
No, the ones before you kind of paused. The shale and tarmac car. So, what was the history of those ones?
Oh, the history. I think the Wayman built both of them. One was off James. Is it James Jacklin? Is it? Did he race a season for his dad raced years ago called Jackson?
Jamie Jackson.
Jamie Jackson, that's it. Yeah, we bought the shell car off him, but it was a tarmac car when we bought it, and that's the car that I did the 3 races for the British in at Northampton.
Yeah. Okay.
But then we sent that to Frank, because that was a Frank wheel car, and he moved the engine back and converted it to a shell car, which is the one that I've sent you the photos of.
Yeah.
And the tarmac car, the yellow one that I had, you remember the yellow one? That was repainted red again, which Neil has now as a hire car, Neil Fitton. But that tarmac car was Dylan William Maynard. Yeah. But I just couldn't, that car, we just couldn't get it to go round. I just couldn't take to that car for some reason. It was just a bit of a nightmare for some reason. I don't know why. I don't, obviously because I ain't got the brains to do it and set it up. And and with tyres and everything, it's just a nightmare. It was just a nightmare. For us, it was anyway. It just seemed like we were just throwing money away and it just struggled. But, hey ho, we had a go. We had a go. We can say we had a go and held our heads high, you know.
Yeah. You say you sold that one. That's the one that Neil Fitton's got now that he's using as a hire car, the tarmac car.
Yeah.
Okay. So Cowdenbeath is a track where there's quite a lot of big incidents, and you were involved in one with Mat Newson the last time we raced there. From a spectator's point of view, and I was there, it looked like you took him in deliberately into turns 3 and 4. Was that the case?
I don't think it was major deliberately, no. But do you know what? Do you know when you get in between traffic and you're just shuffling about and you're bouncing off each cars and that, and then you get a big one from behind and you just nearly touch the fence and stuff, and you just think, oh, it was a little bit too hard. That I think I better let him know that he needs one back. So you know, you just probably overstep the back a little bit. Well, I do anyway, don't I? You know, that's how it is. But hey, you know, we get one, you give one, you get one back, and probably he owes me one for that. But you know, say time will tell, won't it? Who knows? But it was just one of them, and once we'd hit it, and once you're up the fence, you know, I've never done it before, so I just thought, if I keep my foot down, we're probably going to bounce off it or push him off it, but that weren't the case. We ended up stuck there on our side. So, and hey, it cost me £1,500 that gearbox that day because it lost all and blew it to bits.
Really?
Yeah, so a little bit gutted. But yeah, my fault, weren't it? My own stupidity. So, you know, you live and learn, don't you?
Yeah. I guess that it did make for a very impressive picture in Stock Car magazine, though, to be fair.
Yeah, we're all right, weren't it? You know. He did shake me hand and that afterwards. He were all right. You know, he were a bit annoyed at first light, but then later on he come round. He's all right, Matt. You know, we have little tickles here and there, don't you? Things happen in racing, you know.
Yeah.
What it's about, isn't it?
So I guess share is obviously your preferred surface, and we've kind of got that already. So which is your favourite track that we race at or have raced at?
What in my whole career?
Yeah.
In minis as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to say Crew. No, it's hard. It'd be Crew and Bradford, wouldn't it? It'd be Crew and Bradford, one of them two, definitely. Yeah. Crew was a shithole. It was a big dump, honestly. But what a track! What a track! Do you know, it was the only track in the minis that I raced, and you never shut off once. Okay. You never had to shut off the throttle. You just kept, like Daytona, you just kept it on. That's all you heard of it. That's all it was. But yeah.
It was a big track. It was a big track.
And I qualified pole position for the minis gold there, and I ended up losing it. So through engine failure. But yeah.
We won't talk about that too much then.
Right.
So if you were going to bring any track back into Formula 1, would it be Crew? Because a lot of people go Coventry, don't they? That's kind of your kind of standard answer for that. Because everybody wants Coventry to come back. Would it be Crew for you to bring back?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it'd definitely be Crew for me. Definitely be Crew. Yeah. Because Coventry, Coventry, I love the track and it's a great stadium and I can't fault for what they've done and how long they ran it for. And the way they ran it was brilliant. But it was a bit of an Ormond track for me. I only won a couple of races there, and I won that Blues and Whites Championship there. But you know, I just that was, I got more damage there and got took out more and put myself in more and whatever. Then yeah, than anything else there. So yeah. It'd be Crew for me. Crew.
Good. So we've spoken to quite a few drivers on these off-track interviews, and they kind of suggest that stock car racing is a bit like a playground, that you can't be intimidated by those around you. Would you say that's the case?
No, I'm not intimidated by it. I'm more intimidated by my wife, don't I? Than being on that track. No, not at all. No, she's been really. But nah, I'm not one bit. The day I get intimidated and all that, I'll start racing the hot rod.
Yeah.
Or something that's non-contact, you know. Yeah, but nah, I didn't.
Okay. So let me ask this question then. So you sat on the grid,
and I don't tend to intimidate anyone on the track as well. No, it's not for me that. It's almost have a play, then let's have a play, and we'll just, you know, let's get stuck in and have a do. But when they're all, you know, it's childish, isn't it, when they start being silly and things like that, I think. Just get in, bury each other, get out and shake hands, have a pint, and it's back next week, innit, racing.
That's a great attitude to stock car racing. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. So you sat on the grid in 2021.
Yeah.
We were under a caution. You look in your mirror. Is there any driver who you're going to see in your mirror that's going to make you give your belts a bit of an extra tug? You're a bit like, oh, this could get a bit spicy in a minute.
Do you know? I'm not that. To mine. Listen, there's a lot of drivers out there who can use the bumper, or who have got the nuts between the legs to have a go. So credit to them, and whoever it is, it's one of them, isn't it? If you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. So it could be any of them. So no, there is not really, mate. Not to be truthful, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, innit? And all you got to do is embrace it, but remember who's done it. Just remember who's done it. That's what you've got to remember, so you can return the favour.
Yes. Very good. Good. Yeah. So, are you a Formula One fan at heart? And do you have a favourite driver?
Yeah, I am a Formula One at heart. Do you know what? I'm an adrenaline monkey. I'll do anything. I've parachuted. I've jumped out of a plane. I've jumped out of a plane with my mates. I've done bungeeing. I'm all for adrenaline stuff, me. And stock cars, there's just nothing else to it, is there? You got 700 horsepower shaking you around the track. It's just it's immense. It's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I'm just into adrenaline, and stock cars has been my life, innit? From being born since I was a baby. I remember falling down a banking at Long Eaton with a nappy on, or some shorts or something, or about 3 or 4. I don't know. And I remember rolling down this banking on a sunny day and getting stung with stinging nettles, and St John ambulance coming out with gold cream all over me, and sat on this chair wrapped up, still watching my dad race. Do you know what? It's just things happen. Well, it's what they tell me, and it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
so you love stock cars?
It's my life on and off.
Yeah. So as a bit of a fan of stock cars, then, do you have a favourite driver?
I have a favourite driver. Do you know what my idol's been? Probably Robert Speak. I'd have to. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not looking his ass nothing, so. But I've always got on with Robert. He's all right, Robert. We have banter with each other and that, and he's helped me out a lot, Robert. With stuff over the years and that, looks after me a little bit. So, yeah, I'd say Robert. It was my era when I was racing minis, you see, and I watched him in twos growing up and doing what he did, and I'd have to say Robert.
Yeah, he's an all right stock car driver, isn't
he? He's all right, Robert. Yeah, he's all right.
So you've raced quite a few formulas, like you've mentioned. So is there any driver you would like to see come into Formula One for you to race against?
Drivers, in what way do you mean? Or
any driver that's racing another formula at the moment, is there anybody you'd like to see come in and race Formula One on a full-time basis?
Just probably the young generation. That's all. Just to see everyone progress and develop, into drivers from obviously the minis and wherever, and whatever formula people come from, and it'd be nice to. I don't know anyone in mind.
That's all right.
It'd be nice to see my lad have a go in one again. It'd be nice to see my son have a go in one. That'd be nice.
Good.
He's more interested in his work and football and stuff like that. So.
And stock cars are expensive.
Yeah, maybe one day.
So what's been your proudest moment so far?
My proudest moment so far of racing?
Yeah.
Just being a part of it. Just being a part of racing and meeting the people that you meet, and just having the crack and everything, and winning races and just everything. Just all of it. It's just all been one proud moment. Every time I go out, it's a proud moment. Because I feel like I'm sat here and, people have helped me get here. And, I appreciate what everyone does. And I might not show it a lot to everyone, but, it's all in my heart and it's all in my head. And I appreciate everything what everyone's done to keep me at racing and keep going. Especially my old man. My old man's been a good credit.
Yeah.
He's a good boy. But he is an anorak, my dad. He's like your train spotter.
Is he? In what respect?
He just loves, eats, sleeps, and, stock cars. He just loves it, honestly. It's always him who drives me to it. It's always him who gives me the drive to go out and win. And it's always my dad, and I respect him for that. Because I wouldn't have done I wouldn't have achieved in the minis what I did. I wouldn't have achieved all the racing I've done if it worked through him, really, and the people who he knows, and you know,
Yeah,
good,
lovely.
good, yeah.
Thank you for that.
When I've not wanted to do it, he's been the one that's, you know, come on, kick me up the arse, say, come on, we're doing it, and you know, fair play.
Yeah, good. Thank you for that, Joff. So, what's been your funniest moment in stock car racing?
My funniest moment. Oh, God. I thought you're making me think now, mate.
Yeah. It's a Sunday night. You could be watching Songs of Praise, but no, you've got to think about stuff.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff in the box of us laughing about here. Oh, God, and it's how deep do you go?
It's the family. You know what I mean?
No whole bars. Funniest moment in stock cars.
See, the thing is, right, do you know what we can do? Because Jordan's really good at editing it, so we can pretend that you've not had 10 minutes thinking about it, and we can just like, and he'll edit it, so like you like that straight away. It'll be dead easy.
I'll tell you one of my funniest moments in stock cars then.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Which is me dad this when we're racing minis. Probably one of the funniest, but it was funny because we got stitched up back. So when we met a family in Isle of Man called Ben Atkinson and his dad Basher, and we stayed at their hotel and that, and my dad decided to get a dog poo in a rag, right, wrap it up and stash it in the bus in the race motor, yeah, over there.
Yeah.
So within a day or two, it stunk it out and everything, right? So that was our laugh on them, yeah, because we used to prank each other and stuff. So then, on the way home, when we were going home, we used to have a Dodge 50 waterboard van. Do you know with the cover around the engine, what used to unclip, you could pull it off. It was like a thing, and you could get to the manifold and that. And we had the Mini on the trailer. And when you come off the ferry at Douglas, there's a guy stood there with a tray of kippers, fresh. Well, they only wrapped kippers up and got kippers off this guy and stashed them all around the engine bay as we were just before we got in the van to get on the boat. We got in the van and got on the boat. By the time we got the other side and got in the van, it was like, wow, where's all this smell? So they got us back on the way home. So that was a very funny moment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very good. That's very good.
That was a pretty funny moment.
It was worth the wait. I'm glad we got there. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, there's been a few funny moments in that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an easy question.
Go on.
So if you think of stock cars that are currently racing now, is there one that you particularly admire?
What, actual race cars or?
Stock cars.
What, the actual car?
Yeah.
What,
So then when so there's any stock car you look at and go, oh, I really like that as a stock car.
Do you know what? I'll go for Dan Johnson. I like Dan Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dan Johnson. Yeah, and I like him. He's a nice guy. You know what I mean? And we always have a ding dong on track, and we always shake hands and be mint. So, you know, I'd have to say Lee First as well.
Yeah.
I'd have to say Lee First. Lee First does a nice car.
He does.
He does, and yeah, he does. Lee First does a car, and he's been absolutely amazing with us. So
yeah,
give him a big shout out.
So in terms of the rule book, so it is kind of pretty strict when it comes to car construction, but is there anything you'd like to see change to better Formula One stock car racing, if you like?
Better Formula One stock car racing? To change?
Yeah, it's in the rule book.
In the rule book, just change. I'd just like everything to be absolutely on the same pace and equal in all cars. So it's just down to the drivers.
Okay.
And there's no little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. And you know, to be truthful, no one will ever proper know if someone's doing something better than someone else or a bit of this or, you know, because there's always a loophole opening to do something to get faster or do something, you know, and there's always one shutting where they're clamping down on stuff. You know, it's the same with everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's always something there and something closing. It's like, obviously, Nigel Green's car, wide axle, they banned that, didn't they? Or it would either make everyone follow it the same or, you know, let's stay where we are and just tell him to change his.
So what's your view on that? What was your view on the Nigel Green axle?
I think he did tremendous with it, what he did to that car and how it went. Yeah, it was. But it become a race car, didn't it?
Okay.
It become a proper race car then, and it was just, it's kind of took the stock carness out of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he was just out there on his own, absolutely annihilating everyone, and everyone was just having their own meeting, and it was just like, well, there's stock cars and there's Nigel Green.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So do you think that was the right decision for the future of the sport?
Either make it, well, I think the right decision was either make everyone change their actual same as him and be on pace with him, or obviously do what they did, and they made it easier for every other driver, because obviously there's drivers out there who haven't got that budget to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So either way, whichever way they went. Whichever way they had to go, they went. So, but yeah, I would have gone either way, whichever, and I'd have go with it. Do you know what I mean? If we could have done, but like you said, there's low budget stuff out there. What are trying to compete, and that just probably made it a bit harder for them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Credit to what he did, though. Fair play to him.
Yeah. Plan is to return in 2021 with your refurbished shell car. So, Joff, I guess over to you now for you to introduce your car for the new season.
Right. Thank you, everyone. This is my new shell car for 2021. I'd just like to say about the car that we've done a full refurb on it, from bare metal, powder coated. Done a lot of work myself this time, which I've enjoyed doing. Made quite a few changes, put it back on its wheels, and now it's in the hands of Lee Fairhurst Fabrications, and he's absolutely done an amazing job. I can't thank Lee and his team enough for being there, supporting us and doing what he's done, and he's going to stick with us through the racing season and just try and help us through the season, stick with us and see how we go. And I'd like to thank all the other sponsors: Greasy Construction, Jamie Davis, Scrap Mills, just everyone who's sponsored me. Neil Fitton. God, who else is there? Trinity Diesels, Dan Coleman, just everybody who's been a part of my racing and everyone who's helped me along the way. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Joff. Thank you so much for that. So the car does look fantastic, and I really like the way you've kind of got almost two sponsors' name on the side, both sides. Normally you just have one sponsor down the side. It was really good.
Yes. Yeah, it was just a different kind of thing. Every time Brian Evans has come and signed right in my cars, it's been a thing of saying to him, Brian, I want to do something different. What's not like similar to other things. And obviously he's just said, are you right having sponsors on it? Because we had quite a bit of sponsors as well. So we've just done it like that, and he's put some graphics and stuff on, and it's worked out well. It's looked nice, and Brian's never failed me. He's always done a good job, Brian.
Yeah.
He's good. Oof, sorry about that.
Lovely. Thank you.
Moving all over, sure.
It's like you're on a boat. So, looking ahead to 2021.
I bet you can't edit that, me moving that, can you?
God, is that better now?
Should we do that bit again?
Are you ready?
Oh my God. Go on.
So looking ahead to 2021, and fingers crossed we can have a decent amount of meetings this season. And what are your plans?
I'm just, we've got the one shale car, so and we're gonna do every meeting on shale if we can, and it's there's obviously tarmac in between and stuff like that, so it'll give us a bit of a break just to have a recharge in that, and it's nice, that little bit of a break, just to miss it, when you're constantly at it every Saturday and Sunday, unless you're chasing stuff and you're the top 3 men or the top 5 men, it's hard, so it's just nice to have that break, honestly, and we're just going to go along, and it's going to be more enjoyable for us. There's not going to be no stress or headache, or if it's not happening, it's not happening. If we're going, and it's one of them. There's no stress, there's no either.
So the fixtures came out on Friday just gone, and it seems quite heavily weighted towards shale this year.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, which is good. Yeah, which is good. More meetings for me. Hey.
So let's say in an ideal world, you do perform particularly well. Aspirationally, do you think you'd ever go back to tarmac again and have 2 cars?
If the money come about and we did things, yeah, probably would. Or if someone's out there who's willing to sponsor me with a tarmac car and let me have a go, and we'll see what happens. Then yeah, but I'm only 40, and Thought he wanted 2 weeks actually.
Yeah.
a week now, should have said. But yeah, it's I still feel 18.
Yeah.
In my head. So especially towards driving, and if something come along and I got opportunity to have a go on tarmac somehow, then I would. Yeah, but for myself, I think we're just going to concentrate on the shale and see how we go with that.
Yeah. Okay. And your thoughts on Bradford coming back?
Pardon?
Your thoughts on Bradford coming back?
Oh, can't wait. Brilliant. Amazing. Some awesome track,
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I raced it with that car and Peter, like I said, Peter Foden and stuff. And and it's just, I've been in that ball and that atmosphere there. And, I watched the World Final there when Will Speak come and did the banger thing where they stood all the cars on end with the sticks and he come round and did the jump. And, you just memories that you have, don't you? And you see as a kid, and it was just good. Sliding down that big grass banking, when you're a kid and that, you just things you do. Another funny moment when I was coming home from the World Final with Robert's dad, Billy Speak, and I had to go home in wagon with him back to his to unlock wagon and stuff, and we're on way back. And for the first half an hour, I won't shut up, miming him about Robert and talking about Robert and this, that, and the other, and racing. And Billy just grabbed me by the ear and nearly ripped my ear off my head. And like I never said a word all the way on for 45 minutes, and I was just like, and I had one tear coming down my cheek, but I was in Speaky's wagon, so it was like, yes, I'm not bothered, I will. But, the things happen, don't they? I always remind him of it and everything. He went, "You're lucky I didn't pull it off, you little shite." So,
Were you like talking in a sweet shop at that point?
Yeah, it feels a bit like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just things that you remember. I remember like the crash things in the crew when the Formula 1 come over the track and landing in the crowd. And I remember a tyre coming over at Hartlepool one day and nearly hitting Barry Golding's younger sister. And if it would have hit her, it'd have killed her. And I pulled her out of the way. It's just, little things you remember. It's just weird. And it hit this wall behind us at like 30 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour. No one's stopping that.
No.
That's making some damage, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Just weird. It's just mad. But it's all ups and downs, and it's all good. Good.
A couple more questions for you. So, what 3 words would you use to describe Formula 1 stock car racing?
God, 3 words.
Yeah. I mean, you can have 4 if you want.
Oh, right then. Is that? Did you give me 4? Do you give every driver 4, or just me?
Just you, special. Very special.
Thanks, mate. Just one big family.
Good. That's very good. You did well with that.
That's all I can put it as. It's just one big family. That's it. It's just one big family.
Yeah. People say that about stock car racing, in all seriousness, that if you were ever in trouble or you were stuck, you'd always get somebody to help. Somebody would always help you.
Gosh, sure is. 9 out of 10 of them will help you. You always get your odd one who's a bit, but people are like, some people are like that. They like to keep themselves self. But mostly at racing, if you haven't got it, someone's got something for you there.
Yeah.
And it's always one week you'll end it, next week they get it back and whatever. And it's good like that. It's good like that. Yeah.
Is that one of the attractions for you with Formula 1, that you have got that almost camaraderie in the pits with other drivers?
Yeah, it's just good having the banter and stuff, and then it's just an all-round brilliant. It's like getting to the meeting, innit? And you're all excited when you get there, and then you race your races, and you're full of mud, and you win or lose, you or argue or laugh, it all happens. From a Saturday night's racing, it's one big roller coaster, innit? Of emotions, and you're up, down, and that's, and I think it's the excitement of it. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good. I enjoy it.
Okay. Your last question, and I think I already know the answer to this from what we've already discussed, but I ask everybody this one. So, your top 3 drivers of all time in Formula 1 stock cars?
My top 3 drivers of all time?
Yeah.
Well, number 1 is always going to be my hero, which is my dad, because I'd never be anywhere if it weren't for him in racing. He's been my idol, and I've always looked up to him, and I've always listened to half of what he says, not all of. My dad, and then obviously Robert, And then I'd have to say Old Man Stewart.
Okay. Yeah.
Old Man Stewart Mills. Old Man Stewart Mills. I mean, Old Man Stewart Mills. I mean, obviously Stuart Smith. Old Man Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recall Stuart Mills being that good enough for one stop.
No, I don't. Hey, he can drive me bus good though. He's a good bus driver. Yeah, he's all right, boss. Yeah.
Has he found his vocation in life?
Yeah, this is where he's at. His retirement's my bus and driving it every weekend. But now he's back working in it for Steve, I think. So he's going to do whatever he can with us, and then obviously do his meetings. But yeah, he's just like my dad's 77 now. He's getting on a bit, so it's either me who drives on my own after I've raced, and it's a bit tiring, isn't it? But
yeah,
I do it if it needs to be done. It gets done. Do you know what I mean? But I usually like to relax on the way home with a nice cold Budweiser, mate. Oh,
yeah.
So refreshing that once you finish that meeting of red hotness.
Joff, thank you so much for your time this evening. It's been eventful and it's been enjoyable. I've genuinely really enjoyed it. Anything you'd like to say before we go?
Do you know what? You two are a couple of nice dudes, man. You're all right.
Oh, thank you.
Sound guys. Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it, mate. I just don't make me lads.